All floated to reduce stress and to equalize their temperature, and some of the more fragile fish get mixed to ensure that the pH change doesn't upset them.
In the modern retail pet store, you can buy anything from tanks, stands, and filters to food and even medications to treat occasional illnesses which may arise. Much like what we saw at the public aquarium, the filtration system at most retailers is quite different from a single tank setup. A vast filtration system filters groups of up to 100 tanks at once, treating all the individual tanks as one gigantic system. As the fish are delivered from the fish farm, we see how they are acclimated into the store's tanks. When a hobbyist selects a fish, the whole process begins again, Chris explains.
For you as a customer coming into the store and picking out a fish, you should be asking questions along the lines of what's going to be acceptable for your tank. Once you've selected your fish, you want to make sure they appear healthy. In a good store, they all should. You shouldn't see anything dead, anything floating. Once you've picked your fish out, find an associate to help you out with them. Depending on what they are, some fish will be netted and put into a dip tank and transferred to a bag. Some fish will be directly bagged underwater. And some fish will be chased into a dip tank. Depending on what it is, some of the spinier fish, we don't use nets because it'll damage their fins. Some of the fish are dangerous, so we're going to stick with the net to keep our hands safe. So depending on what it is, depends on how it's going to be processed. We then go to our bagging station. Water treatment, chemical is put in the water to reduce stress for the trip home. We are bagging just with air, we don't use oxygen, so it's going to somewhat limit the time your fish can be in the bag. You're not going to want to stretch it 48 hours like an oxygen-packed fish, but several hours would be safe. The more important concern would be temperature. Here in Florida, it's hot. Places up north, it can be cold. As long as the temperature is controlled, your fish are fine in the bag for several hours.
Now that we see the state of the tropical fish hobby today, let's look at where it's going in the near future. Each year, the Global Pet Expo, one of the largest of its kind in the world, is held as a meeting place for retailers, wholesalers, and manufacturers to come together and experience the newest developments in the pet industry. The tropical fish hobby is in no small way represented. This event is where the cutting edge of new products are introduced. Many go on to become popular new trendsetters for many years to come. We are being given a unique chance to view the future of the tropical fish hobby and catch a glimpse of the large and exotic aquariums we may someday see in malls, doctors' offices, and restaurants. With new innovations of filtration and manufacturing, exotic new aquariums have been developed that challenge our imagination. This showstopper won the Best of Show Award for the most innovative new product and was developed by the researchers at Oceanic Aquariums. We talked to Oceanics president and founder Jeff Waters about this remarkable aquarium's development.
The hobby's progressed a lot. I have been in it for 25 years, and we were selling wrought iron products and black frames with very crude filtering systems. These systems now, we're using a lot of what we call wet-dry technology in the filtering systems. They keep the fish alive much better than previous systems and are a lot easier to work with, less maintenance required. Lighting has changed probably as much as any part of the hobby, especially when you get into tanks like the one behind me. You're dealing with live corals which feed off of sunlight. And so the lighting systems are a very important part of the aquarium, and they've become much more advanced. And that's one of the reasons that you're able to keep some of these animals alive that people really struggled with in the past. The aquarium behind us is a 144-gallon half-circle aquarium. This is the first time that we've showed this to the public. This aquarium won the Best New Aquarium Product Award at this trade show. It's been very well received by the dealers, and we've gotten a lot of orders on them. And our challenge will be filling that pipeline going forward. We've got just a tremendous response. The aquarium is 144 gallons. It's actually 90 linear inches of viewing space going corner to corner, and creates a different style of furniture than we've had in the past. It's a very accessible cabinet with a wide open, easy to access doors underneath it, so that the hobbyist or the aquarium technician taking care of it has a lot of room to work. We're excited to come out with new products, and winning an award is a huge thing for our company, and it's a huge thing for the industry. We keep getting better. I was talking to a gentleman earlier today about the products that we sold 25 years ago when we started, and we have come a long way as an industry, and it's an exciting time to be part of the pet industry, and looking forward to a great future with a lot of other new products.
We found an innovative device still under development for viewing the minute activities which go on within a live reef aquarium environment, otherwise invisible to the naked eye.
There's a lot of interesting stuff going on in aquariums, in reef tanks, in aquaculture that you don't get to see with the naked eye. This device allows us to zoom right in and have a look at what's going on without disturbing their environment. The device in itself suckers onto the aquarium. It sticks to the aquarium using suction. Okay, we then have a few lenses that allow us to zoom in and focus on things, so we can observe the little animals going about their business in their own environment. The magnification of this device is about 12 times, although there is a macro lens supplied as well that allows you to zoom in even further and get some real detail out. For instance, if you're looking at, say, a very small crab living on a piece of rock, you can see the hairs on his legs, or you can see the detail in his eye. The sort of stuff that you just couldn't see unless it was under microscope.
The goldfish bowl has always been a very popular aquarium, but the problems have always been there's never been a filtration system within a traditional goldfish bowl. The nice thing about a circular sphere like this is that the dirt always drops to the lowest point, unlike a flat aquarium where the dirt drops across the floor. We felt the goldfish bowl needed reinventing. It needs a much bigger volume of water. Okay, and we have a choice here of 4 gallons, 8 gallons, or 16 gallons. Okay, and plenty of water volume. The next thing was to put a filtration system within the tank. The obvious place to put it is the lowest point. Another important part of it is having a light which in fact is good for photosynthesis of real plants. So you're always looking for a light which has the right color temperature, and that's always a difficulty, or always has been a difficulty with traditional halogen type lights. We've now got LED technology, and we're applying LED technology to this type of tank. Okay? And because of the LED, because of the electronics, we can actually program this device to give us sunrise, sunlight, sunset, and moonlight phases actually in the tank. Completely self-programmed, microprocessor controlled, makes the whole system very, very simple. No timers, all you do is plug it into the mains. The time you plug it into the mains is the time at which it will switch on every day from then onwards. So the whole purpose is to keep things as simple, but as good for the fish as we possibly can. Okay? The health of the fish is the most important part. So to go back to the beginning, we've moved the traditional goldfish bowl on from being very small, no filters, very little water, to the shape of the goldfish bowl that we have here, but lots of water, healthy for the fish, properly filtered and properly lit.
We found our friend Lonnie Reddy here at the Expo, helping pet industry Goliath Central Pet introduce its latest innovations.
Behind us we have a tank of fish that this tank features a lot of the fish that we saw in the hatchery. It's termed a community aquarium because these are fish that share the same water chemistry. They share, they're not aggressive toward each other. They eat a similar diet. And so these are fish that can be put in together, look good together. We've got barbs, rainbows, tetras in this tank. So it's very much like you would have at home. The other thing that's interesting about this tank is that it features live aquarium plants. And live aquarium plants are always a plus in that not only do they look good, they help remove a lot of the impurities in the aquarium. I think the future of the tropical fish hobby is in more and more farm-raised fish as opposed to wild-caught fish. That number increases every year, so we don't have to put as much pressure on the rivers and streams of South America, Central America, and the oceans. And I see also the future being fish are easier and easier to keep. When you stop and look at where we were 20 years ago, the equipment has improved tremendously. If you buy an aquarium today and get started as a beginner, you are much more likely to have success right out of the gate than you were 10, 20 years ago.
Many new and brightly colored fish were introduced here at the Expo, and many of the almost 400 major tropical fish farms were represented. We talked to David Goodwin of 5D Fish Farms about the development of the glowfish, actually a cutting-edge gene splicing of the zebra-danio and certain types of jellyfish.
One of the tanks you see behind me, the 3 tanks that are here, are the genetically altered zebra-danio, and that's done with a gene from a saltwater sea anemone that's injected into the embryo of a zebra-danio, and it causes the fish to glow. Doesn't glow in the dark. It's not anything magic about it. Doesn't harm the fish in any way. It's not painful to them. It's just been genetically altered in the embryo, and then the offspring produce a fish that has a glowing appearance to it under a normal light. You put it under an actinic bulb or a brighter light, of course it enhances the color even more. They're really pretty under a black light. Makes a big difference in the appearance of them. You turn your lights out, put the glowing things from the 60s or 70s whenever the black lights were popular, but you put those glow-in-the-dark type decorations in the tank with a black light, and they really just illuminate and give the illusion of actually being glowing. They don't actually glow. They're not radioactive or anything dangerous like that. It just gives the illusion of having it glow. Well, we're excited about a lot of the things that are happening in the industry now. There's a lot of new fish that are coming on the market and things that are happening. A lot of stuff for the hobbyists, a lot of stuff for the pet stores, and just to keep a lot of variety in it. You know, I've talked to a lot of people since we've been here at the show, people that have been in the industry years back, and they're excited about some of the new things that are happening. And so, you know, we think it's gearing more toward the families, gearing more toward the children. It's a cheaper way to have pets, something you don't have to take care of while you're out of town on vacation, and it's something that the whole family can enjoy. And people are naming their fish now like they name their dogs, and it's just something that's fun and exciting.
We talked with Dr. Tim Hovanes, Chief Science Officer for Marine Land Products, an industry leader in all types of aquarium products, and about what the future may hold for the hobby.
Future of tropical fish has really never been brighter. There's more selection of fish, tropical freshwater fish, greater selection of marine fish that are aquacultured, meaning tank raised, available. And I think the future is going to grow. More households will have tropical fish. The science, the technology is being built into the filtration system, so it's easier to keep tropical fish, including marine fish, alive. So I see great growth potential in a tropical fish aquarium being a regular fixture, not a hobby device, not something for a hobbyist, but just someone who wants a plant, like house plants in their tanks, in their house, could have tropical fish. Well, one of the ways that things are being made easier, and why I think the future of the hobby is bright, is through biotechnology. And one of those examples is a product called Biospira, that I discovered the bacteria that are part of Biospira. They've always been there, but we didn't know that. And we found them in fish tanks. They take care of the fish waste, and they allow a person basically to set up their fish tank, put fish in it the next day, and be successful. It eliminates new tank syndrome by getting rid of the ammonia and the nitrite that the fish excrete, and the ammonia is converted to the nitrite. And so it eliminates one of those hassles. In fact, it's the biggest hassle of setting up a new aquarium, because let's face it, people want fish and they want their aquarium and they want it set up now. There's always been a lag time. Biospira eliminates that lag time through 10 years of DNA and genetic research.
As we survey the vastness of this Goliath of an industry, we can only marvel at where the future of fish keeping may take us, and just how far the hobby of fish keeping has progressed from the simple fish bowls and open vessels of only 100 years ago. We've traveled the world, seen the geographical origins and natural environments of many fish. We've seen how plants and fish today are raised on efficient farms and scientifically prepared for their long journey to the home aquarium. Finally, we've seen how those fish and plants are distributed to the hobbyist right in their hometown through the modern retail pet system. As our thoughts again turn to the wild expanses of our imaginations, it is a comfort to realize that keeping a magical underwater world safely and humanely has become a reality. Now you can sit back, relax, and let a modern aquarium carry you away to a vast new universe without leaving the comfort of your seat. For more information on how you can become involved in this fascinating hobby, contact your local public aquarium, Tropical Fish Association, public library, or visit your local tropical fish retailer.